Welcome to Object-Oriented Programming course. This is the last lecture for first module. In today's lecture, we will learn about the different types of comments and the structure of Java program, then the tokens or the lexical issues of Java language. Let us try to understand different types of comments used in Java language. See, uh, I hope all of you are familiar with the C language. See, in C language, we have used two types of comments, that is single line comment or multi-line comment. Uh, okay, conditional compilation is another provision in C language, but that is not applicable here. These two things are similar to that of C language. Java single line comment starts with two slashes and ends with the end of that line. It is only for that one line. So wherever you are giving the slash line, from that point to the end of line, that is that much part is treated as comment, and comment is something which is ignored by the Java compiler. So during the time of compilation, comment portion is ignored by the compiler. Multi-line comment. Java multi-line comment is between slash star and a closing slash star. Okay, this dot is not here, don't get confused. Okay, this can span across multiple lines. So in the case, single line comment is meant for only one line, and multi-line comment is for multiple lines. So start with one slash star and end with another slash star. Ignore this dot at the end. Okay. Another thing, what is new in Java is documentation comment. See, the original goal of comment is to enhance the readability of the program, so the programmer can give some comment in the code. So by reading that comment, we can easily understand the code. But in order to do the documentation, this particular comment is actually helping much more. Documentation comment is used to produce an HTML file that documents your program. The documentation comment begins with a slash. This is a kind of multi-line comment only. Only thing is that at the beginning stage, instead of one star, there will be two stars. So ending is same. It's a particular type of multi-line comment. And the benefit is that if you add the comments which should go to the part of the document what you are creating from your program, you don't need to manually create any document for the Java file. If you have given documentation comment, there is a tool Java doc. Using that file, that tool, you can create the documentation for your Java program automatically. So for that purpose, this documentation comment is used. I will show one example. Okay, let us see. This is this is a sample program where multiple comments are used. Here slash star star. Then this particular type of multi-line comment is nothing but Java document comment. Whatever you are giving within this will go to the document generated for this file. Means documentation at the time of document generation, these document comments are actually going to the document. These are single line comments. See, in Java, normal multi-line comment is used to comment the code. If you want to disable a particular portion of code, so during time of testing or implementation, you may implement some portion partially, but to compile that, okay, you will comment that partially implemented portion and you will compile it. So for that purpose only, this multi-line comment is mainly used. If you are adding any meaningful information which you plan to add to the document, then you have to use the documentation comment. So the ideal use for the multi-line comment is to comment the code. Multi-line comment, it is up to the programmer, but that is a recommended use. This is mainly to comment the multiple lines of code. For the documentation purpose, you are you are advised to use the documentation comment. So this is the format. This Java doc comment. This particular thing will, if I am creating a documentation for this thing, whatever is coming within this document comment will go to the document. And there are different uh, ways: @author, @param, @c. All these things will go to the document with respective portions. When we see the example, you will be clear. Okay, now let us try to understand the structure of a Java program. If you remember, for a C program, there will be hash include, like that. Then constant function, definitely main function, that sequence was there. In similar way, in Java program also there is a recommended Java program structure. First part will be the documentation section. So you can give the comments so that those comments will act as an information to the person who is reading your file. And if you appropriately use the Java doc comments, that thing will go to the created document also. So this is nothing but the comment section. Then package statement. Okay, in this particular case that is not mentioned. Then import statement, that is to import the packages. Then interface statement in your program, if you are creating any interface, that actually you can create. Then class definitions, in your program you can create the classes. Then uh, there should be one class which is having the main method. So in a file we can have only one public class, because there is a different requirement that public class name and your file name should match exactly. So normally in Java, usually we will keep only one class in one file. That is the standard. And in your class, there should be one public static void main. This is the entry function. So when you run a program, control will start from here only. So this has to be there. This main method class is essential. Other things are optional. Document section. Let us see each sections in detail. This is optional. Add comments describing the details of author, purpose, license, etc. So this file contains implementation of sample program, author, Ginesh version, whatever. So here you can give documentation comments. Advantage is that whatever you are giving with this particular syntax with documentation comment, when you use the tool Javadoc tool and when you create a documentation, everything will go to the respective places in the Java document. So your document creation is getting automated when you use these things effectively. Next part was package statement. Here I want you to recollect one point. At the time when we learned UML, I mentioned about one folder kind of symbol, package, and I mentioned that is to organize the elements. Same concept we have, it is supported in Java. So you, for the time being, you remember something like a folder where we keep the classes. So when you create a program, you can attach your class to a particular package. For that, you can give a package statement. That will be the first statement in your program. Means non-comment. Initially, comment will be there. Then, if you are means adding your if you want your class to be a part of a particular package, that package name has to be given. Then once you create the class file, you have to copy that class file into that package folder. Okay, you can create a package with any name to organize the class file of that file. A package is to group classes that are defined by a name. It is like a folder in which all the classes present in that file in that file are kept. So in one file you can have multiple classes. It is not mandatory that you can keep only one class. You can have multiple, but only one public class. That was the rule. Okay, this package statement syntax is something like package space. This package is a keyword. Then whatever package name, semicolon should be there. I missed it. Okay. Next thing is import statement. This you can correlate with the hash include statements in your C program. It is similar to that. Concept wise, it is similar to that. The line indicates that you want to use a class of another package. Then you can do this by importing it directly into your program. It is like using the libraries in C++. Here you are using a different syntax. It is by which you are importing the classes present in those packages. See here, import java.io.star. Star means you are from the IO package you are including all the classes. Or if you want to include a specific class, you will mention that class name. If you give the dot star means it will include all the classes present in that particular package. Next thing is interface statement. If you want to create any interface in your file, after the import statement, you are advised to keep the add the interface statements. This is again optional. Interfaces are like classes that includes group of method declarations. It is an optional section and can be used when the programmers want to implement multiple inheritance within a program. That I will explain when we learn multiple inheritance. Anyway, so in terms of structure, after your import statement, you are advised to add your interfaces. If you have any interface, you add that. Then next part is class definition. If you have any, if definitely you should have at least one class, so that has to go here. So a Java program file may contain several class definitions, but only one public class is allowed in a file. I said in the beginning, because rule is simple: public class name and file name should match. So if you have multiple public classes in one file, you cannot have multiple file names. So that won't happen. So that is why in one file you can have only one public class, means class with accessibility level public. Next part is main method class. This class, if you are creating a standalone application, you need to have this class. Every Java standalone application program requires main method as the starting point of the program. There may be many classes in Java program, but only one class defines the main method. That means your program need to have one entry point. That is nothing but the main point. And in your Java file, you are supposed to implement only one main method. Okay, if it is a standalone program, then you have to implement one main method. And okay, then now let us see the syntax of this main method. Public static void main within bracket, this is one string argument array, means one string array. Okay, it is declared public, that means anybody can access, correlated with the accessibility level we learned at the time of class diagram. So this is nothing but the accessibility level. Public means it means that it can also be used by the code outside its class. It can be accessed from outside. Static indicates it is classifier scope. We learned two types of scope: classifier scope and instance scope. Static means it is classifier scope. That means it is part of the class only. It is not part of any specific instance. That is, we want to access a method without creating its object. See, okay, I will come to that. Okay, as we call main method before creating any class objects. For that purpose only, we are keeping this main method as a classifier scope. That means static method. Next thing indicates, void indicates that a method does not return any value. Your main method is not going to return anything. Next thing is, main is the method name that is fixed. If it is the entry function, that has to be named main. It is the starting point of the Java program. It accepts one argument. This is nothing but string, data type is string, argument array. That means array of string. This method receives an array of strings. It is used to receive command line arguments in your program. In C, C++ and all, there is a concept of command line argument. For the same purpose, it is used in Java. See, when you run the program, Java space class name, then space, you can give some arguments. Those arguments will come to your program. That is nothing but the command line. Okay, so this is all about the syntax of your main method. Now let us see a sample program. So in this program, in the beginning you can see the documentation comment, because I have used that syntax /**. If it is one star, it is normal multi-line comment. Here I have mentioned @author version, all those things. So whatever I am giving, these things will be the part of my created documentation. Now I am not adding it to any particular package, so that package statement you won't find here. Here I am importing one particular package, import java.util.scanner. So I am importing a class scanner to my program, and here I am creating a public class hello world. So what should be the file name? My file name should be hello world. It is case sensitive. My file name should be exactly my class name. Within that I have only one method, that is nothing but the main method. I'm not doing anything with the command line argument. I am just keeping the syntax as such. Within that I am creating an object of scanner. Then using that scan means I am just printing. It is similar to your printf statement in C. So I am just printing enter your name. Then to read, similar to your scanf concept, I am using the scanner object sc.nextLine. So I am reading something from the keyboard. Here I am just trying to print the same thing, hello plus whatever I read here. This is what my program. So Java documentation comments. Here I have one import. I am importing one package. Then our public class is there. In this case, it is public class. So file name has to be hello world. Within that, I have one main method. Okay, I am running that program. See, first I need to compile that program. To compile the program, see, my program is present in this basics folder. So I am compiling Java C space hello world. So my file name is hello world. So I am compiling here. So the output of this compilation is nothing but the class file. Now it would have created hello world dot class. Now I am trying to execute it. Java space. See, in this case I am giving hello world dot class. See this? You will get an error because at the time of running your class file you are not supposed to give the extension. You should not give the dot class extension. See, in this line I am running Java hello world, only the class name. In that case my program is executing. So I am getting the prompt, enter your name. So I am entering one name. So it is printing hello Jinesh. Now I said about Java documentation. Just to show you how you can create the documentation, you need to just use the tool javadoc. So javadoc space your Java file name. When you give that command, it will create lot of files. Okay, and there will be an index.html will be created. It means it is actually creating HTML documentation for your entire Java program. Means if it is a big project, it will create for the entire things. So if you open that hello world.html file, means okay, this is the command means documentation automatically created. So if you open the hello world.html, you will see something like this. Public class, all the, means it is actually the auto generated documentation for my Java program. So this is very useful when you have to create the documentation for your project. Next thing is lexical issues or Java tokens. Okay, tokens are the smallest individual building block of or smallest unit of a program. Java compiler uses it for constructing expressions and statements. Java program is a collection of different types of tokens, comments, and white spaces. So usually we treat comment and white spaces as different. Other things are considered as token. Means these two are a different category as such. Okay, now which are the major types? In your program file you will see comments, identifiers, keywords, separators, operators, literals, and there will be a lot of white spaces. So your program consists of these 7 things only. Now let us see the significance of each of these things in detail. Tokens. First token part is keyword. Keyword is a reserved word. In Java, there are 50 keywords. The meaning of the keywords has already been described to the Java compiler, so you are not allowed to change it. The meaning cannot be changed. Thus, the keyword cannot be used as a variable name because that would try to change the existing meaning of the keyword, which is not allowed. Keyword means it is already reserved by the language. Language has given some meaning to that. So in your program, you are not allowed to use that name for as any variable name or function name because that is already defined meaning. These are the 50 keywords available in Java language. In our course, gradually we will learn all of these keywords one by one. So don't worry about that. Our goal itself to learn all these keywords gradually. So we will learn them in detail. Next type of token is nothing but identifiers. Identifiers are to identify something. Identifiers are the names of variables, methods, classes, packages, and interfaces. These are names given by the programmer. Allowed characters for identifiers are all alphanumeric characters, means A to Z, upper or small, then 0 to 9. Apart from that, dollar symbol and underscore are allowed. These are the set of allowed characters for the identifiers. all identifiers must start with either a small letter or a capital letter or a currency character or an underscore. That means you cannot start an identifier name with a digit. You can start it only with alphabet. It is not dependent on case. It means name is case dependent, but the first letter can be a small letter or capital letter, or you can use dollar symbol or underscore. You cannot use any integer. Means numeric value as the first letter of the identifier. They must not begin with a digit. That is the theme. Okay. After the first character, the identifier can have any combination of allowed characters, one or more. Okay. Identifiers in Java are case sensitive. For example, foo and capital FOO are different, though both are FOO. One is small letter, one is starting with small letter, one is starting with capital letter. So both are treated as different. Java keywords cannot be used as an identifier because for keywords meaning is already defined. You are not allowed to change it. They can be of any length. What should be the minimum length of an identifier? Think about it. Just try to find out that. Okay, already answer is revealed from the example. Int a, this is nothing but a is a variable. Here name is name is another identifier, and the data type is character. Like that you can create identifiers. Constants or literals, that is the next type of tokens. Literal is nothing but the constants. Constants are fixed values of a particular type of data which cannot be modified in a program. Java language specifies 5 major types of literals. In Java, a character preceded by a backslash is escape sequence and has special meaning. Escape sequence is something what you learned in C++ only. Means backslash is used to give some different meaning to that particular character. You must have already used slash n, slash r, slash t. So those things are there in Java also. Let us come to the constants or literals in Java. Integer literals, these 100, 0, all these integer values are these constant values are integer literals. Floating point, you will use the decimal symbol 3.14, 3.14 or minus. These are floating point literals. String literals you have to give in double quotes. Whatever you give within a double quote is considered as string literal. Character literal you have to give that in single quote, that is character literal. Then other two literals are there, Boolean literals, that is capital true, no, small letter true or small letter false, representing true and false respectively. Regarding escape sequences, these are the permitted meaningful escape sequences in Java. In your string, if you want to start the string from a new line, you can give /n so that your string will start from a new line. /n represents the beginning of a. It will force the carriage return to move to the beginning of a new line. So these kind of different escape sequences are available in the language. Another type of tokens are nothing but separators. These are few symbols in Java that are used as separators. A separator is a sequence of one or more characters used to specify the boundary between separate independent regions in plain text or other data stream. The most commonly used separators in Java are semicolon, that is to separate the statements. Okay. These brackets, method declaration and argument passing. These brackets are to separate the method name and the argument list. These curly braces are to indicate the block of code, try block, catch block. Then square bracket to define the array and accessing the elements, string array to indicate the array. This particular separator is used. Semicolon, end of statement to mark the end of a statement. Single means comma argument separator. You can separate the arguments I, j, k are separated with comma. Dot operator, calling operator. See, system dot out dot println. This is used to separate the class name with object name or package name. For that, for such purpose it is used. Then colon, for each or in conditional operator and all you will use this. Next thing is we learn separator. Now operator. Operator is a symbol that takes one or more arguments and operates on them to produce a result. Normal, you already know, means addition, multiplication, all these operations are there. So there are symbols which are meant to perform those operations. Based on the number of operands, there are unary operator, means plus postfix, prefix, means if the operator is after the variable name, this is known as postfix. If it is before the variable name, it is prefix. Okay, then arithmetic operators, multiplication, division, shift operator, relational operator, bitwise operator, logical operator, ternary operator, assignment operator. I think most of these operators are similar, means familiar to you. Only things which may not be familiar to you are this one is new. In shift operator, this particular thing is new and this thing is new. This operator is new to you. So just note this. We will learn that in detail later. Next part is comments and white space. We have already learned types of comments and all. White space. Java is a free form language. This means you don't need to follow any special indentation rule. Means you don't need to, there is no rule like you have to start the first line from after giving this many space, nothing like that. So you can, it is free form language. White space in Java is used to separate tokens in the source file. It is also used to improve readability of the source code. Okay, this white space here, int, and this white space, int space I, is used to separate the data type and the variable name. After that, you may or may not have space. No, here equal to is there. It is up to you to give a space or not. That is only to enhance the readability. White spaces are required in some places. For example, between the keyword and the variable name. Here it is needed. But after that, here space is needed or not, that is up to the programmer. In Java, white space is a space, tab, or new line. All these three are considered as white space. Now, comments in Java, we already learned there are three types of comments: single line comments, multi-line comments, and documentation comment. I'm not going to explain it again. Okay, that's all about our first chapter, means first module. So with this, we are completing the first module. So from next session onwards, we will start the second module. Thank you for watching.